All right, welcome into another duly noted podcast. We appreciate everybody for clicking on, and we've got a couple of great guests for you today. Matt Elam, former Gator All-American, will join us in a little bit, and then Cecil Hurt. I forgot for a second who it was. Cecil Hurt is going to join us from the Tuscaloosa News and talk about Alabama, their bid to do what only Florida has done, right? Have the football and basketball championships at the same time. Making you a little nervous now. Also, by the way, I've got the two most important pieces of paper in the world right here. One is to tell you that we're on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch us live. The other is to listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, WRUF.com, Podbean, any of the other 39 platforms. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. The other one is my bracket. This is it. This is the winner. I got it. I nailed it. And here's what I did for the most part. I picked some upsets early, lower seeds getting upset, but I went pretty much chalk. I got Baylor, Illinois, Gonzaga, and Alabama in the Final Four. And of course, my bracket is just as right as yours right now. We're 0-0, all of us out there. I do have one rule on the brackets. If you are filling out a bracket, you get to fill out one and claim it as your own. Everything else you do is for fun, and if you may be able to make some money on it with illegal gambling, that's fine. But if you want to, if you have 9 brackets, there's only one bracket you claim as your own. You have to claim it before the tournament starts. That is your bracket. Don't tell me, well, in my one bracket, I've got 3 teams alive, and on one bracket I got 9. That's for gambling and for bragging rights. You have to claim one infinite bracket. That is your bracket. All right. Well, obviously Florida, since we've last visited, did not play well in their loss to Tennessee on Friday. I'm trying to think what day that was. Friday, and then we knew at the halftime. I mean, Robbie and I were doing the show, and they're already down big, and so they didn't play well. But I don't know that it really mattered. I mean, the loss to Tennessee didn't seem to really matter. Kind of hard for me to figure out why it didn't matter, but I think one of the big controversies is that Florida was a higher seed than LSU. At least it's a controversy at LSU. And of course, there are no controversies in the NCAA tournament. When they come out, they seed it, they do all this, and it's forgotten. I mean, it just goes away. And then they start playing games and nobody remembers it anymore. But, there's people complaining out there that the 8 and the 9 were, different teams than what they thought should be. I mean, that obviously Florida was a 7 and LSU was an 8. And when you look at the metrics of it, it does make sense. You can make an argument, Florida beat LSU. But if you watch those two teams play this weekend, one team's really good, and I think they could go far. I don't know how far. They could go far. What's far? I think they could win a couple of games. I think there's much doubt about it. But I don't see Florida doing that. I think Florida's just got too many issues now. There's too many issues, too much stuff going on. We lost 3 out of 4. Confidence level's not high. We're not sure everybody's bought in on the team, committed. So I don't see that happening. And certainly I don't, I like that LSU team a lot. In fact, I think they had a better coach who didn't cheat. Well, they wouldn't have the same team if they had a coach who didn't cheat. But it'll be interesting to see as we go forward in this term. We're going to talk a lot about it every podcast we do, everything we do, and we'll obviously get as well to a lot of the teams that we think could go far. I think there'll be a lot of that Friday, because don't forget Friday, they'll have not played any games except for those Thursday Florida, what are they called? First 4 games. I couldn't get it out. I got too many Florida alliteration things going. So for that, as far as that goes, we'll see what happens with all that. We'll talk more about the matchups, because I like my bracket, because I did go a lot of chalk, but I did pick some really cool upsets early. I was tempted to take FSU to beat Alabama, but No, I didn't do it. Couldn't do that. Couldn't go that far. All right, we've had a lot of things going on this weekend, of course. No doubt about it. You had baseball and softball both with big series. Well, I mean, baseball. I know JU came in with not a good record, but they were not a bad team. You can watch. I was out there for Sunday's game. You can watch a team play, and know whether they're any good or not. They weren't bad. So they go 3-1 or 2-1. Sorry, against Jacksonville, and of course softball going 2-1 against Kentucky, which came in. And I told you guys that the thing about Kentucky was that they had unbelievable stats, but they hadn't really played very good teams. And Florida was able to keep them down in terms of offense. It was pretty amazing performance, and that should tell you a lot about this Florida softball team going forward. So that'll be interesting. And of course, no gymnastics this weekend. We'll get to that next weekend. Archie Miller got fired today, so there was they've already started some of that. Archie Miller, of course, the coach at Indiana. I don't think anybody's surprised they let him go, but they let him go, and so kind of caught up on all that. Now we're going to go to one of the greats to play at the University of Florida, Matt Elam, of course, an All-American. And do you ever go out there and shine that little paver that they have out there with your name on it?
Oh, I always walk out there. I always walk there and give it a kiss, man, and look up and say thank God for it, right?
Yeah. Do you take family around there and say, you know?
Oh yeah, every time I go there with somebody, or I'm bringing somebody there to a game, or bringing them around the complex, I gotta show them that first, man. I gotta brag about that, man. That's bragging rights there. A lot of guys can't get that, man. That's an honor there, man.
There aren't that many of them. I mean, you know, obviously, I guess Kyle Pitts, I think, will get one for this year. And
yeah, exactly.
But you're right. I think Vernon was the last guy before that.
Yeah, Vernon got back to back. Yeah, he got back to back. Yeah, he got two of them down there. Yeah. Hopefully my nephew can get one.
Well, and I was going to ask you about him. Obviously, he's an amazing player. We all know, we've seen from him. And, you know, Abram's son and your brother is Abram, right? And
yeah, yes. Kai is my nephew, yes.
So what is the gene that makes you guys all these good football players?
I don't know. My father was a coach. Abe, I mean, I feel like Abe was the blueprint, though. Abe showed us everything, man. He was the starter. He started of it. He been through it all, man. I feel like he experienced it all, man. And he was the greatest blueprint for us all, man. I feel like he showed me the way. And then I feel like with us two going, having experience, make it so easier for Kyer, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a blessing to have Abe, you know what I'm saying? And for sure. Yeah, Abe showed us the way, for sure.
How much schooling do you give Kyer now? I mean, you telling him some moves or something, but you kind of play different positions.
Yeah, we definitely play different positions, but we help each other out. That's what I be trying to help. I be trying to get him to understand that you got to rely on your safeties. Your safeties will make your job easier. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to tell him that all the time. You got to rely on your safety. It's gonna make your job easier. Because your safety do their job, you do your job. The secondary, you know what I'm saying? The secondary is successful. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to tell them the most. Rely on your guys. Trust your guys. You know what I'm saying? Trust your safeties. You know what I'm saying? Trust your linebackers. You know what I'm saying? That's all I try to get installed into them. Just trust your guys around them so you can help you out, make your job a lot easier.
And, you know, that's the thing. When you're a third-year player and a lot of people really like you and they start talking about you with the NFL, that's another thing you got to kind of keep at bay. All the chatter, the eighth uncles, you know.
He does a great job with that. He keep focused, you know what I'm saying? He know what he want to get done, you know what I'm saying? He know it's all about him, you know what I'm saying? He know exactly what to get done. And he does a great job keeping focused and knowing when he get done. He get his work done. You know what I'm saying? He works hard on and off the field. So, I mean, he's a great kid, man. He got the blueprint, man. All he got to do is stay on track. Definitely.
Now, obviously, you came here. I mean, did you come here in part because Abe went to St. John's, I think, for a little while, right?
He went to Notre Dame when Urban Meyer was.
I thought he transferred.
Yeah, he finished at Kent State.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame for 2 years. Left Notre Dame, went to community college for a year, and then did his senior year at Kent State University in Ohio.
Okay, yeah, and obviously had a good career in the NFL as well.
Yes, had a great year.
But why did you decide on Florida? What was it that made you want to come here?
Florida, the tradition, when I was in high school, '08, they had that '08 team, and that was an unbelievable team, man. You know what I'm saying? It was hard not to choose Florida after seeing that team. You know what I'm saying? Those DBs they had, it was hard not to follow their footsteps. You know what I'm saying? It was very difficult, man. They was playing well. They was flying around. Urban Meyer and Charlie Strong had those guys playing at a very high level. And also, Urban Meyer had a relationship with my family from him recruiting Abram. You know what I'm saying? When Abe was coming out of high school, Urban Meyer was recruiting him. He came to my home. I was 8 years old. And he was a receiver coach in Notre Dame. He showed me his receiver stance. He told me I need to keep it intact. And then I ended up running into him again my 10th grade year. And we met again, and he realized who I was. And it was from there. And I ended up committing, and then it was from there when we saw him again and re-met him. That's when it all happened again. So Urban Meyer had a big say-so with my family because they already knew him previously when he was at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and that's the guy you wanted to go play for. And obviously you have a coaching change. Was that hard at all?
Oh, no, it wasn't hard. What made it easy for me was because Muschamp and what he brought to the table. When Muschamp and Tavares Robin, what they brought to the table was easy for me to adjust because I feel like they took my game to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Urban Meyer was an offensive-minded coach, you know what I'm saying? So he really didn't focus much on defense. And when Muschamp came, I felt like it was an advantage for me because I had more focus from the head coach, you know what I'm saying? He had experience from Saban and league experience, so it was an advantage. So it wasn't hard for me to transition at all.
Was there a reason why you preferred safety to corner?
My brother played it, and some of my favorite players were safety. You know what I'm saying? Just follow my brother's footsteps. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually I was a running back and linebacker in high school, so running back was my thing, and I wanted to play running back. I wanted to go to college for running back and stuff like that. But it was hard.
You were
watching
used to getting hit and hitting people.
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
both.
Exactly.
You like the contact.
Yeah, I definitely. I embraced the contact. Yeah, I definitely embraced it for sure. Yeah, that definitely was it.
You also embraced the strip because
I
remember that game against LSU, and there goes OBJ down there. He's wide open, and next thing you know, the ball pops out. I'm like, what happened there?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was an exciting play, man. That was an eye-awakening play for me, man. It turned my life around, I feel like. But yeah, it was a great play, man. My brother, when I was coming up, because when he got in the league, he always talked about. I mean, he was talking about getting guys on the ground, not being too aggressive, not hitting hard, saving yourself, lasting long. So, and I used to see him always trying to script guys because he don't want to. He was trying to save himself. He wanted to last long, so he started going to script guys instead of going to tackle them. You know what I'm saying? Going to script them. So that was in the back of my mind. So it was just me trying to make a play for the team and win, man. We playing against LSU, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, the best receivers in the country. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was all instincts, me just playing hard, trying to make a play. You know what I'm saying? I grabbed them and I just went for the ball, you know what I'm saying? Because the ball was, you know what I'm saying? You need the ball to win, right? So I went for the ball. It was just a great play, man. I can't tell you, that's what I said I was going to do. I'm going to go script this ball. No, that wasn't on my mind. My mind was, go get the ball, man. We need to score. So, and then, I mean, the offense did a great job after that. Mike Gilsley ended up scoring after that.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. So
let me ask you this. What player, either in college or the NFL, was when you hit him, you went, holy moly, that hurt. That shook my feelings.
I'm going to say, you remember Toby Gibhart from, he played for Minnesota. I played against him, from Stanford. I played against him when he played for Minnesota. Oh my God, he was a low. Adrian Peterson he got injured like the third player of the game. Adrian Peterson got hurt like third player of the game, so Toby Gilhart came in full time. Oh boy, he was running. I say he was running behind his pads, but it was hard to get him down. It was like a snow game. You can go on YouTube. It was actually a game. It was one of the top 10 finishes of all time. You know what I'm saying? We scored it was 2 kickoff returns in like a minute. It was like 3 touchdowns in like a minute and a half. It was like a famous game. So. And Toby Gilhart, he was just running that thing. It was cold out there. I say, it's got to be the hardest running back to tackle. You know what I'm saying? As far as running hard, running behind their pads.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody told me they saw you working out the other day, and you said you haven't given up on the dream. Now you've been in the XFL, right? You've been in the CFL, NFL, obviously. You still think you have a shot at it?
Yeah, I feel I got a lot of faith in myself, and I mean my grind, man, the way I work, you know what I'm saying? I feel good still. I still feel good, man. I'm 29 years old. I still feel good. I feel like I can play a couple more years. Tom Brady, of course, he motivates me. Um, my nephew motivates me. I want an opportunity. I want to get an opportunity to play with him. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really driving me to keep going. My opportunity to play with him in the next level. So that's another thing that drives me to keep going. So I just feel good, and I feel like I got a lot left in the tank, and I feel like I can be beneficial. So that's why I keep going, definitely.
Is it also, I mean, you were first round pick and you only had 3 years. I mean, does that kind of make you want to get back there?
Yeah, you got a chip on your shoulder. You feel like you got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I battled a lot of legal stuff and then injuries. You know what I'm saying? I feel like things that maybe some things that was out of my control. You know what I'm saying? I feel like now growing up, I have more control of things. So better, so I can have better experiences. So yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, I definitely got a lot left in the tank and I can go, man. That's why the way I work and run and stuff like that, I still feel young. So I feel like I got a lot left to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how hard was it? You had to deal with a lot of stuff there around 16 to 17, and you had a tough upbringing. I mean, just do you feel like it's kind of got you in a center place?
Oh yeah, it got me at peace now, knowing what what I overcame and what I come from, and stuff. It has me at peace now, knowing how strong-minded I am and how, you know what I'm saying, it helped me become mentally stronger. You know what I'm saying, and helped me become somebody that I never thought I could be. You know what I'm saying, a leader. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. It was hard for me to be a leader growing up. You know what I'm saying. People's expecting that because of my talent. You know what I'm saying, being better than most guys, they expect you to be a leader, but some guys just don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Being that role model, you know what I'm saying, that you're supposed to be. But some guys don't really want to take that next step. You know what I'm saying? It's immaturity it probably is sometimes, or they're just not ready to take that next step. So I feel like that was my situation. You know what I'm saying? I had to take the next step. I had to lead, be a role model, make better decisions because I got people looking up to me. You know what I'm saying? Young, and you're not thinking about that. You just want to live your life because, you know what I'm saying, you never know what the future brings. So yeah, it's just a lot of things. I feel like I grew up a lot and I learned a lot, and that helps me. But that situation, like at that, for sure.
Yeah, and that's another area where you can help Kair.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Me being a role model, you know what I'm saying, helping the young guys, because I've been through a lot, learned a lot, been through a lot, so I can help them not make those decisions. You know what I'm saying? Teach them the wrong ways so they know not to make those decisions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely being that role model. Growing up and being that, there was a lot of guys in our situation. We don't want to, we get money, we get fame, and you don't want to be role models. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta be. We have to be. They're looking up to us. You know what I'm saying? We gotta take that next step.
Well, as somebody who never got any money or fame, it's hard for me to talk about it. But, you know, one thing I wanted to ask you about was Florida's safety play this year. Now, they caught a lot of heat. You know, I know that Sean Davis was in and out of the lineup for different reasons. But how much of it was that the safeties weren't organized and they did some bad things? And how much was it just that the corners let them go? I mean, it was hard to imagine why all that kind of stuff kept happening all year.
It was just technique and communication. I just feel like that's all it was. You know what I'm saying? It was just technique. It wasn't the wrong things being ran or the wrong guys in the wrong situation. I just feel like it was small things like technique and communication that, you know what I'm saying, the guys wasn't taking the next step and being leaders. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what we're gonna take. They didn't have that guy in the secondary to step up and take the next step and put their foot down and lead and like communicate, and you know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like it was. They didn't have that guy to communicate and lead and make examples. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's all it was. It wasn't the wrong calls or people in the wrong situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel it was all technique, small things, technique and communication. You know what I'm saying? If you communicated, that play wouldn't have got, you know what I'm saying, that play wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to your safety, you talk to your corner, that play wouldn't have happened. So I feel like it was all it was. It wasn't people tried to make it play calling, people in the wrong spots. I didn't see that. I feel like we had everything. We had the best. I feel like we had the best two corners, one of the best two corners in the league, and a great star. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it was a great situation. It was just small. We didn't have a guy that took the next step. That's why I'm trying to get Kair to take the next step, lead, so guys can trust him.
Right.
And when he talking, oh, we need to do this, run this, they believe in him because, you know what I'm saying, he taking the next step. I feel like that was it.
It had to pain you a little bit to see Marco and some of the bad things that happened to him during the year, whether it was a guy stealing the ball away from him, you know, at Texas A&M, and then the shoe throw. against LSU. You had to feel for him.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, it was emotions. Emotions run high. You know, emotions run high. I made mistakes on the field. You know what I'm saying? It's just emotions. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I mean, Marco a good dude. You know what I'm saying? He ain't raised like a good player. You know what I'm saying? Good person. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. I didn't feel like it wasn't on purpose. You know what I'm saying? His emotions run high. We playing against LSU. You know what I'm saying? Like emotions run high. Like it happens, man. You just got to bounce back from it. You know what I'm saying? I can't crush a 18-year-old, 17-year-old guy for making a decision like that. I mean, his emotions run high. He want to play well. You know what I'm saying? He hard on himself, so it happens, man.
Yeah, nobody likes LSU around here anyway.
Yeah, exactly, man. Emotions run high. LSU game, Alabama game, man. You pumped up, turned up, man.
Hasn't LSU become an actual rivalry game where it was always Tennessee, Georgia, FSU? And now it's LSU's too. You add that in there.
Hey man, you gotta get to the top, man. You know what I'm saying? LSU, the dog. I feel like the dog under Alabama, so you know what I'm saying. You gotta get to the underdog first. But I mean, yeah, it became that because I feel like the DBU talk. You know what I'm saying? LSU want to be DBU so bad, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? We got that all. I feel like we got it all under control. But they want to be DBU so bad. I feel like that what Bronco rival at too. And that hit against when 11 hit that quarterback, that brought a little funk too. So it's a lot of little small things that brought that rival more than what people think it is.
Absolutely. By the way, before we let you go, and we appreciate your time, Matt, I know you've been talking about maybe wanting to get into the sports writing business. Is that something that you're excited about?
Yes, I'm very interested in that because I feel like talking to a lot of guys, it ain't a lot of guys that played and doing it. You know what I'm saying? And have that experience. I mean, guys like you have experience. You know what I'm saying? Been around the game, know it. But I mean, it's guys like they love a guy that played it and know a lot about the game and experience the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's just fun. That was an interesting topic for me, and I feel like I can definitely do it. It's a challenge to me, and I love a challenge.
Yeah, you could get with Percy and do one together. That would be something.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You guys are crazy, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. It's great to see you, and I think a lot of Gator fans out there are thrilled to see you, and hope that everything goes for the best down the road, and whether it's sports writer or back in the NFL.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to bring me on to talk to the fans and pick my brain a little bit, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do, man. It's an honor, man. Thank you so much. And Gator Nation, man, keep rooting, man. We're going to get back there. Mully going to get us right, man. Mully's going to get us back there.
There you go. Hey, thanks again, Matt. I appreciate your time so much.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, we have time to get to three things, which we'll go ahead and do right now. And three things. I still don't have that sponsor I want. I want that sponsor. I'm demanding a sponsor. I'm a sponsor. Three things presented by Pat Dooley. I guess we could just say it's sponsored by Titan MRI and ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. I mean, they're the sponsors of everything on this show. All right, three things. Sorry, I won't grouse anymore. Number one was Drew Brees' retirement, and this quarterback shuffle. This continues. Is it going to be Taysom Hill? Are they going to let him have the job? Are they going to go try to get somebody? Now there's this Russell Wilson talk again. They're going to trade him, but the Cowboys signed Dak Prescott, so he can't go there. He's not going here. And this guy may go here. Who ends up there? What's going on with Deshaun Watson? Everybody has answers, but nobody knows. Cam Newton re-signed. It's weird. The whole quarterback thing is weird. It's what we talked about with Robbie the other day. Everybody says you got to have a quarterback to win. Okay, then get a quarterback. Don't let him go. But Drew Brees, age. I mean, I don't think he was the same quarterback last year. He's still very effective, and he's ready to move on and be that guy on Monday Night Football or whatever it is. What football is he doing? Is he replacing? I can't remember who he's replacing. He's replacing somebody. All right, that's number one. Number two, really enjoyed watching the golf this weekend. Big crowd out there. They said 10,000. Might have been more than that. And here's the thing. I think maybe it looked like more than that because I'm not used to seeing 10,000 people actually on the golf course at the Players' Championship. Usually they are in the tents and the hospitality suites. They aren't watching any golf. I think they were forced to watch golf, and it was loud, and it was cool. I enjoyed the heck out of it. And Justin Thomas's win, very emotional. And look, what he did was he made a mistake. There's no doubt about it. Homophobic slur, the mics picked it up. It wasn't like he said it to somebody, but still lost sponsorships. And that's the world we live in, and it, don't say those things then. Now, he made a mistake. Apologized, did all the right things. He really struggled with his playing, got back, wins the Players, was unbelievable, I thought, on Sunday. I mean, some of the shots he hit were unbelievable. So it doesn't change my feelings about what he did. It's just he made a mistake. He's apologized for it, and now he moves forward. Hopefully it sets up for a great Augusta. That's the way I'm looking at it. And then finally, the ACC today changed a transfer rule that now says you can go within the conference. Now, the ACC is doing it. Everybody should be doing it. These archaic rules about transferring are so stupid. They're dumb. I mean, they are next level dumb, and that you can't, like, you could keep a guy who is at Boston College from going to Miami. Now, if I'm in Boston and I got a chance to go to Miami, I'm taking it. But you could keep them from doing that. Why? Maybe that's where I want to go to school. Maybe I made a mistake. Why can you keep people from going to different schools? And eventually we're going to get there. It's slow. It's like everything the NCAA does. It's a slow, methodical process. But eventually we're going to get to the point where you get to transfer one time. The second time, I got no problem with putting a year's restriction on that, where you have to sit out a year. If it's that big a deal and you can't settle on a school, at some point we got to help you realize it. And you're going to play at that second school in the first place with a lot of more passion, because this is a chance, like your last chance, not to transfer and have to sit out. At any rate, it'll all be done and pretty soon. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, Cecil Hurt will join us. Can't wait to talk to him about what's going on at Alabama. You're watching another Dooley Noted podcast at Gatorsports.com. This is Pat Dooley, and I want to tell you about my friends at the Gainesville Quarterback Club. I'm a member, and you should be too. It's the oldest Gator booster club in the world, and a great place to meet new friends, network with prominent business people, and hear a great collection of speakers, including Dan Mullen, throughout the football season. Go ahead and give John Stevens a call at 352-222-8516 or sign up on the website, quarterbackclub.org.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
You can get your favorite alcoholic brands from ABC Fine Wine and Spirits delivered right to your door. ABC Delivers is available in Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, and all of the Southeast Florida. Earn ABC points for coupons and free bottles through abcdelivers.com. It's powered by FedEx Same Day City, and you're going to love the price. Free with a $50 purchase for the first 7 miles. So wine, spirits, beer, and everything you need to celebrate. Get it delivered. Shop abcdelivers.com. Thanks so much to our title sponsors, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits and Titan MRI, and to our pick sponsor, Leonardo's of Millhopper. You can find us live on Facebook and YouTube, or listen at your leisure on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you find all your favorite podcasts. I'm excited to continue this podcast and to have your company on board as a sponsor. If you're interested in being part of the show, email me at patrickdooley54@gmail.com or give me a call, 352-317-3444. Okay, welcome back to another Dooley Noted podcast. Appreciate so much Matt Elam coming on. Got a treat for you, I think, on Friday, where it's not 100%. We're still trying to set it up, and hopefully we will. Maybe I should check my phone. I may find the answer to that. But I think Danny Werfel's coming on Friday, so that'll be a lot of fun. Love talking to Danny, of course, whenever we can. We're trying to effort that, and we're also trying to get Lewis Murphy on. So we're trying to give you a bunch of these Gator players and to talk about football, because I know that's what drives the engine, right? Around here is no different than it is anywhere else, except, well, Kentucky, Kansas definitely. if football's driving the engine at Kansas, that engine is in a ditch somewhere, and there's flames coming out of it. Who else? I think there's one other school, maybe Indiana, where it's more basketball driven than football. But obviously here it is. But there is something to be said for the fact that Florida is in the NCAA tournament, and I get it. I get when people say, this is not the standard. In fact, somebody said this the other day on the radio. If that's going to be your standard, yeah, Mike White's your guy. He'll get you to the tournament every year. But is it going to go, if not for the Chiozza shot, they wouldn't have gotten out of the Sweet 16 that year, and then every other year they haven't gotten out of the first weekend. Now, that said, I like being in the tournament. It certainly beats the alternative, I will tell you that. It beats the alternative of not being in the tournament. And I've been around teams that didn't get in the tournament, and they were no fun to watch. And believe me, the NIT, which, by the way, starts Wednesday, and those of you who really want to get involved in the NIT, you can watch Mississippi State or Ole Miss, either one of those teams play, but nah, it's not good for me. The 16-team NIT. I know everybody's excited about that. All right, let us, have we got Cecil up?
I'm here.
Okay. There you are, Cecil.
My camera doesn't seem to be.
You want me to come there and fix it for you?
No, thanks. No thanks. Yeah, it's helping everybody in your audience, believe me.
Well, Cecil, it has been, I can't imagine what it's like to be on this run, because although I have been on it with football, basketball,
Sure, yeah.
and for Alabama to win the football national championship and all the hoopla that went with that, and then this basketball team kind of came out of nowhere to be this good. I mean, I thought they'd be good. I didn't think they'd be this good.
Right. If you had told me that they would have won the championship or shared the championship at, say, 13-5 in the league, there was a bunch, LSU and Florida, and those teams were bunched up together. If you had told me that in the preseason, I would have said, yeah, that's possible if they grab a couple of road wins. But to go 16-2 and really, win the conference regular season easily, and then back that up with the tournament, which doesn't happen as frequently as people might think, it's just been remarkable. I've covered 32 SEC games since the end of September in football or basketball, and Alabama's 30-2. I have 2 basketball losses, and that's SEC. That's and the football team played every one of the best football teams in the SEC. The basketball team got 3 wins over Tennessee, 3 wins over LSU, which is difficult to do. 3 over Mississippi State, and swept Kentucky in the regular season. So no, you don't see it coming. And so, in some ways, basketball's been a more entertaining run. Football. So Nick's got such a machine going at this point that the good games, the championship game against Florida or the Georgia game or so forth are exciting, but it's really tough for Mississippi State or Kentucky or Arkansas to line up talent-wise, particularly with what Alabama put on the field this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I mean, the one thing, like when the basketball season started, because we're all paying attention to things like football and retiring, things like
Right.
that. But when it started, I think the first time I saw Alabama, I go, wait, they still got John Petty and Herb Jones? What are they like in their ninth years? But that veteran leadership and those guys who've been through the battles has been such a bonus for them.
It is, and it's rare. I think the pendulum will swing back a little more to, it used to be Kentucky would load up with one and dones, win the league.
Mm-hmm.
They'd all go to the NBA. They'd load up with more one and dones and win the league. That didn't work for Cal this year. And unless you get a really transcendent guy like an Anthony Davis, I don't know that it is going to work against the more experienced teams who do have guys. And the portal changes it a little bit, but teams are getting back to having those third, fourth year guys, and it makes a difference. Alabama had think about this. I'm gonna have to do this research. They had a Heisman Trophy winner, obviously, and had the SEC's unanimous Player of the Year basketball in Herbert Jones. And those are both fourth year guys. How do you get guys to stick around for a fourth year? Imagine Devontae Smith not being in the NFL last year, but he wasn't. So it's been, and Nick certainly loses plenty of guys. It's not like everybody magically stays. They'll have 8 or 9 juniors a year who leave. But when you have those guys and they're your best players, that they know how to handle themselves in practice, in the locker room, the huddle, and it's such a luxury for a coach to have guys like that. Now, Florida's, Billy's returning, second national championship team was like that. I'm sure in certain ways, and he did a great job, but you almost don't have to coach those guys. They know what to do.
Yeah, you almost have to deal more with the outside stuff. And certainly in that case, that was a deal that he had to deal with. But how aware or excited or I don't know what the right word to use is, are Alabama fans about the fact that they could do what's only been done at one other school, and that being Florida, and have those 2 trophies at the same time?
They're excited. They're still a little wary about basketball because they don't have. They have a good basketball tradition. They have a great core of fans, but they're still a little wary about Gonzaga or Baylor or some team that pulls an upset, just because that's been continually, even with their very best teams, the way it's gone in basketball. You go back all the way back to 1976. The last undefeated team, Indiana, Alabama lost to them by 5 points in the regionals, 74-69. So you get a draw like that, or you get a great team like they had in '87 with Derek McKee and those guys, Mark Gottfried, and Providence with Rick Pitino, who they're facing in the first round, shoots them out of the Sweet 16. So there's still a little bit of wariness. Football, as you understand, it's almost as ludicrous as this is, and as hard as it is to win it. When Alabama gets into the playoffs, the fan base expects to win it. They expect to. Notre Dame, Ohio State, whoever it is, they expect to beat teams. Don't always do it. Clemson handled them pretty well, but that Clemson win out in California was a shock to the fan base. I'll promise you that.
Well, it's funny because you mentioned that Alabama opens up with Rick Pitino, and Pitino was on last night and said, and you quoted him on your Twitter feed too, Billy Donovan's not walking through that door to play for Providence. Yeah, Billy, that was an unbelievable run that he had as a player, and then of course did it as a coach as well. But you know, the one knock on Alabama has always been all year, if they don't make threes, you know, that's how you beat them. And well, then why doesn't anybody beat them? You know, they must find other ways to win.
You know, top 5 in the country in defensive efficiency. You know, they're the guys you mentioned, particularly Petty and Herb, obviously the defensive player of the year, and Primo and Shaq. They do not have a big shot. They don't have Eve Pons down there at the rim. They don't have that defensively. But what they do have is the ability to really, without pressing, to really disrupt you offensively, because they're so long in the passing lanes. They have enough inside guys when they're healthy with Reese, and Juwan Gary's been a huge surprise for him as a Rodman guy.
He is
offensive rebounder. You know, he's not gonna step out there and hit threes or but as a Rodman guy, rebound, defend, he's quite an athlete. So, you know, Rojas, they've got 20 fouls that they can rotate around the basket if they have to. And they up tempo. You know, if you turn the ball over, they're running with it. If you miss shots and Alabama rebounds, they're not the league's best rebounding team, but they're not bad. And they're coming out of there with it. Quinterly can really get it down court. You know, Herb is a wing who can get it down court, and then you have to kind of figure out how you're going to match up with him. You know, Shackelford can handle it if he needs to, and so they're coming downhill with it as fast as they can. But they like to generate that off defense, off turnovers and missed shots.
Yeah,
without pressing, they hadn't full court pressed anybody really all year.
Yeah, they've been a lot of fun to watch this year, and I mean, when you look at their bracket, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Despite the Patino voodoo, I don't know that Iona's got quite the bodies that they need, but no, they'll be coached up. Rick will do that. Question them. Nobody's ever, whatever questions anybody's ever had about Rick Pitino, those hadn't been the questions.
No, I can think of some others though.
I can think of some others. I can give you. We had one of, you know, how the people do these 3 things about Secretariat, or 3 things about the Grand Canyon, 3 things about Rick Pitino. I said, I can think of more than 3 things about Rick Pitino. But anyway, that's he's back in college basketball for better, and I say for better or worse. He's done a heck of a job, and always will. His son got fired today.
Oh, I know.
And people were joking, well, Minnesota should just go get the dad. They should just go get Rick.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, but I would think he wouldn't take that job because they fired.
He wouldn't take it after they fired his son.
I guess they're cleaning house in that conference. Either you're going to be in the Final Four or you're gone.
Right. But Rick, he's put 3 different teams in the Final Four, and so there's something to be said for that. So anyway, but I don't think he can quite do the 15-2. The 7-10 would be UConn or Maryland. Good teams, good, tough, hard-nosed teams. Whether they could play at the tempo, if Alabama forces the tempo, I don't know. They did not play Texas in the Maui gym, but they got a good look at Texas. They were both in the same tournament. The Maui Classic played in Asheville, North Carolina this year. Texas is
I like Asheville, not as much as Maui, though.
Right. They have almost nothing in common. They have one thing in common that we no need to discuss, but horticulture, I'll leave it at that. Yeah. But Texas is really athletic, really able to play in different styles, and is playing really well right now. Won the Big 12 tournament. Good job by Shaka this year. They had some stretches in the middle where they come and go, but I think part of that is just that league. You know, it's just like we were talking about the SEC and how remarkable it is to even go 16-2. You got to go on the road to Oklahoma State or West Virginia. Those are tough games, man. People don't realize what tough and tougher in some ways. I mean, Florida is on the short end of the travel stick. They've got some really long trips to Arkansas or Kentucky. But how'd you like to be Lubbock on Monday and then you got Morgantown on Saturday?
Yeah. They're not even in the same country, I don't think. In
more
ways than one.
Other than airplane, I don't know if you can reach one to the other. But Texas is really good in that bracket. A lot of people. Michigan's the 1 seed. They ended up with some injury problems.
Livers is out. Yeah.
Rivers is out. So a lot of people look at them as vulnerable. LSU's in that 8-9 game. If LSU plays like they did Sunday, they can beat St. Bonaventure, Michigan, anybody they put in front of them.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about LSU as we for our last question, because watching that game, you were paying attention. I was kind of watching every once in a while, and I've liked that team, not their coach, but I like the team, and I like the players on the team. And Watford has been incredible. I don't know that taking the 3 there at the end of the game was the right move, but
but I think they had a bad pass on the inbounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so I think Trendon did what he had to do. I don't think that's what the play. They're down 1, so I don't think they were drawing up a 3. So what the play was going to be if the inbounds passer had gotten it to the right place, don't know. But then Trendon had to go really almost into backcourt to save it, and then you're looking at, and he did one smart thing. Although Herb got to him, contested the 3, and it was short, but he did one thing that players with good basketball IQ do. He didn't wait until there's 4/10 left on the clock. He got it up there with 2.5 seconds, and they had 2 tips that could have gone in. They'd gone in, got it up on the glass, and gave it. So Alabama was both. I mean, again, Herb Jones made so many plays, but they were also Alabama was fortunate that LSU didn't tip the ball in or get a foul, but that's postseason basketball. You got to win some of those to advance.
Yep. And it's going to be fascinating. I mean, Alabama is going to be certainly one of the teams we pay a lot of attention to, especially filling out the bracket. So it's going to be interesting, and I appreciate your time, Cecil.
Sure.
Get some sleep. I know you had a long trip, so.
Yeah. It's enjoyable though. It's you've done it many times, and when the team you're covering is both entertaining and successful. That's what makes sports writers do what they do, not not the paycheck. I promise you.
Oh, we know that. I've tried to make people understand. They say, "Well, do you want the Gators to win or lose?" I go, "If they win, more people are going to read the story. So yeah, if they win, great. If they win the national championship, a lot of people are going to read everything I write. If they go 10-1, nobody's going to read any of it."
Right, and they're going to get mad at you because they went 10-1.
And I didn't fire the coach.
Right, you didn't fire the coach. You wrote a story that said they lost. Well, they did lose. Well, that's still your fault.
Yeah, exactly. So. I got yelled at one time because I put in the paper a guy who made an error. He made 2 errors in the game, and his mom got mad at me for doing that. I'm going, well, the score was 2-1. They lost 3-2 in that inning when he made 2 errors. It's getting in the story. Sorry.
Yeah, that's just part of it, but it's not his fault. It's your fault. That's the way that goes.
Like Spurrier says, not my fault, not your fault, my fault for putting you in the game. All right, Cecil, appreciate your time as always, man. hopefully see you
Look
soon,
for-
man. Maybe
look forward to
the
talking
third
soon.
week.
Possible. It's possible. Feel free to call if they're still in Indianapolis. I'll probably be looking for a friendly voice to listen to at that
We
point.
will do.
I don't
We
know.
will do that.
I don't know. 3 weeks of stuff to do in Indianapolis, but
I know a week. I've done that, but I've never done 3 weeks.
You ever do the College World Series with Florida?
Oh yeah, I did a 16-dayer one time.
Yeah, we were the people who covered Alabama in '97 when they played LSU in the finals. We were there 15 days.
There's nothing like it. I had 3 different hotels too. That was
No.
my error. My error.
Well, there you go. We'll put your
All right.
name in the paper. You
Cecil,
committed the error.
that's
We'll
right,
put your name
that's
in the paper.
That's right. Too many errors by Dooley cost a terrible trip. Cecil, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Sure. Anytime, Pat. Thank you.
Cecil Hurt from the Tuscaloosa News does a great job covering them, and it's got to be fun. And he's absolutely right. It is so much fun to cover a team when they're on a run, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, whatever they're doing. It's more fun to cover that than guys who don't want to talk because they're lost and they're mad. You still got to cover them when they lose. Somebody still had to, I didn't, but somebody had to write the story after Marco Wilson threw the shoe. But it was probably a lot more fun, and I did write a column about after they beat Georgia. That column was fun to write because they were all happy and they were giving us good quotes. It's the way it works. All right, we have to take a break. We have to come back with the Leonardo's Millhopper Quick Picks and, of course, the Adams Ribco Gator of the Weekend. All that and more when we return. It's another duly noted podcast. You can get your favorite alcoholic brands from ABC Fine Wine and Spirits delivered right to your door. ABC Delivers is available in Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, and all of the Southeast Florida. Earn ABC points for coupons and free bottles through abcdelivers.com. It's powered by FedEx Same Day City, and you're going to love the price. Free with a $50 purchase for the first 7 miles. So wine, spirits, beer, and everything you need to celebrate. Get it delivered. Shop abcdelivers.com.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
All right, and welcome back to another duly noted podcast. Appreciate everybody who clicks on or listens on the podcast, and we appreciate everybody who's involved with it, especially our sponsors, Titan MRI and ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, who are title sponsors. And of course, we did earlier 3 things. We're still looking for a sponsor there. Looking forward to Friday, this, that, and the other. It's my favorite thing. I get a kick out of that. I don't care if anybody else does it or not. And of course, if you were not watching or listening earlier, you can go back and listen. We had a really fun interview with Matt Elam, former Gator All-American, and of course, former Baltimore Raven. He's thinking about being a sports writer. Get out of the business, Matt. No, I'm just kidding. But I've told him, I said, if you need any help with it, I can help you. And you might say, well, no, let him learn the right way. Don't you do any help with it. By the way, our Ironwood Golf Course text line is 352-600-2300 if you want to get in any questions for me. And again, believe me, we're going to talk a lot more about the bracket on Friday. It was weird because for me, I didn't... I was cooking dinner. I was cooking on the grill. So I kind of was watching. I wasn't like as caught up in it because you kind of know what's going on. You kind of know. Your bracket probably has got a lot of chalk on it. You have to dust it off. Gonzaga, Baylor. I mean, these teams were so good this year. So it's almost a matter of you're probably going to get the early round games, or that's where you can pick some upsets, but do not go too far away from the chalk. I just don't think it's going to work. We have a Facebook Live question. Gene Arnold wants to know if 16 days, did you send out for laundry or use local when I was in? Now, I did 2 16-day trips in my life. Once, I covered the Olympics, and I think we had a washer and dryer. The other one was 3 different hotels, and yes, I did send out once. But for the most part, I did my. Luckily, one day I think there was 4 days or 3 days at a Residence Inn, and so they had a washing machine there. But I bought a couple T-shirts. In fact, I had a Green Bay T-shirt that I loved. Finally, got too many holes in it. All right, let us go to the Leonardo's and Millhopper quick picks. Always love those, and we appreciate all the great job that Kyle does as well. Nobody qualified from this week because nobody got the 7 seed right. And I talked about it a little bit. You know, the 7 seed was a little bit of a surprise to me. I just went, whoa, 7. Well, you know, you have to look at all the metrics. You have to look at a lot of different things, and there may have been a little bit of sympathy for this Florida team. I don't know. What's up, Bill Reichert? Bill Reichert's saying what's up. So good. He's a sponsor, of course, at Ballyhoo Grill. And we love having him on for this, that, and the other. Big part of that. We appreciate them being a part of it. All right, so nobody qualified, guys. Sorry, nobody got both of them right. You got to just get both of them right. It's not that hard, right? But nobody got the 7 seed right. I'll go back and look again, but I looked through it twice and I didn't see it. Anybody with the 7 seed. But I'm as surprised as you. I thought they'd be an 8, maybe a 9. I was hoping for 10. Rather than a 9, so you could play the 7, which is what Virginia Tech gets to do. And we're going to talk more about Virginia Tech next on Friday. All right, so you got to get them both right to qualify. We're making it tough. We're making it easier, and we're making it tough. We're making it easier because it's easier to, there's only 2 things you have to pick, but you got to get them both right. All right, so here we go. Florida at FSU in baseball. That is on Tuesday night. They actually picked it up on the ACC network, so it'll be at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. Florida at Florida State baseball. FSU's, struggled a little bit. They've had some bad series, but of course Florida has too. I mean, it's a toss-up as far as I'm concerned. And then we're going to give you a game. Now, we can't give you the Florida game because obviously we'll do a show Friday and we'll do some more stuff with the Gators then because they play Friday. They play early. We got to figure out the timing of that. So they play very early. But we're giving you the, you know what? That's true. They play at 12:15 on Friday. So why not give you the Florida-Virginia Tech game today? That is a great point, Pat. See, you can think on the fly like me. It's amazing. All right, so there it is. And I'll put this up on Facebook and Twitter, I think it's called. But it is Florida versus Virginia Tech. That's all you got to do. Those 2 games, Florida FSU baseball Tuesday, Florida Virginia Tech basketball on Friday, because that game will pretty much be over when we do the show. We got to figure something out there. We may have to move the start of the show back a little bit because I don't think if it's 49-49 with 2 minutes to go, nobody's going to be watching this, right? All right, but you guys watched it today, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody out there for doing it, for being a part of it. And I'm hoping that on Friday we will have Danny Werfel. That will be a lot of fun, and some other guests as well. We'll just keep working on it. Until next time, I am Pat Dooley. I am deep, I'm way back, and I am out of here.